Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to a Diablo Immortal video. In today's video, I want to go over my 5 tips and tricks, things that maybe you didn't know about the game, that will hopefully help you in your Diablo Immortal experience. So, let's get into it. I imagine a lot of you watching this are players who know quite a bit about the game. You've been playing it for a while. So hopefully some of the things that I show you guys here are going to be things that you don't know. You probably know a number of them, but such is life. The first of the things that I wanted to share is actually related to the minimap. The minimap is going to be 2 of those things that I want to share. But when you're in town, you can adjust your difficulty from normal all the way up to Hell 5 at the time of my recording this video. But one of the things that I see people talking about a lot in chat is they ask, what is the combat rating requirement in order to do any of the different difficulties in this game? And this game actually is very convenient in that if you go to any of the difficulties and you go to this little eye right here, it'll actually tell you the combat rating recommended for that particular difficulty. So that combat rating is going to be the combat rating that all of the monsters are going to be in the difficulty. And so if, say, in Hell 1, you are 520 combat rating, then you will do your normal damage and you will take normal damage in return. The further that you are below this 520 rank, the more damage you're going to take and the less damage that you're going to do. And you can actually click on any of the difficulties to see what is the recommended combat rating, so that as you get closer to the Paragon level requirement of any of the different hells, you're going to be able to make sure that you have the gear to stack up to that level of hell so that you can be successful in Hell 4 or Hell 5 or wherever it is that you are. My second tip is actually also going to be minimap related, and that is that the minimap in Diablo Immortal is actually your best friend. There's a whole bunch of information on your minimap, and I actually find that when I'm playing, a bulk of my time is spent looking at my minimap instead of at the main map of what's going on in the game, because it's going to tell me where it is that I need to go and what are some of the things that I need to find. So you'll see right now, for example, in the gameplay that I am completing a quest. And so all of those little red dots that you see on the minimap are going to be the quest monsters that I need in order to complete my quest. However, the minimap doesn't just show things like quest monsters. The minimap, unfortunately, does not yet show treasure goblins in most scenarios. That is actually an update that I hope will come out. But the minimap will show things like legendary and set items that have dropped for you in the form of gold stars. And it will also show different kinds of champion monsters as well. For the champion monsters, you definitely want to keep your eyes on the minimap for when they appear, as there are certain kinds of champion monsters that you want to keep your eye on. The different colors for champion monsters that you'll find on your minimap are going to be the blue ones. Those are the basic champion monsters, and you'll see them on the minimap right now. And those blue ones being the basic ones, they'll tend to drop you experience globes. They'll drop you some blues, they'll drop you some yellows, but they aren't necessarily going to drop you anything great very often. The next kind of champion is going to have a yellow skull. And those yellow skulls actually have a slightly better chance to drop you a legendary. They're going to be a little bit more difficult than the blue skull champions, but that's just because there's 1 champion instead of 3 that you have to take down. And then there are going to be orange skull champions. The orange skull champions are called ancient elites, and the first orange skull champion that you kill in any given day is going to drop you a guaranteed legendary. It's kind of like a hidden little quest that you get every day to get a free legendary if you can go out and find one. I find that when I discover one of these ancient elite champions, I like to tell people that I have one. I'll tag it so that it will drop me the loot, and then I will invite people so that they can get the loot as well. The other players do need to be in your party, though, in order to get that guaranteed legendary, so make sure that you invite them if you want to share those legendaries with other players. Once you've killed your first orange skull champion in a day, then the rest of the orange skull champions will actually just have a higher chance to drop you a legendary item. In my experience, it's approximately 20%, 1 in 5 after that first one, but it does make it so that when you're world farming, if you want to have that heightened chance of getting more legendaries, you're going to want to kill more of those orange skull champions. Treasure goblins, for that matter, actually have the same odds of about 20% to give you a legendary from my experience. So those are another good one to go out and farm as well. Now there is one other kind of little skull that you can see on the map, and it's a purple one, which represents a quest monster. And if you kill the quest monster, you'll get things like these little essence dusts that you use for upgrading your equipment and things of the like. I personally have not gotten a legendary from a quest monster. I have seen that other players have, so the odds on getting a legendary from those is going to be pretty low. So just keeping an eye on your little mini-map is going to give you a lot of information. So it'll tell you where you have ancient elites, regular elites, things of the like, right? So here you'll see that we have the ancient elite. I was actually going to turn around right there while I was playing, and then I saw that orange skull pop up on the mini-map. And so as soon as I saw that orange skull pop up on the mini-map, I knew that that meant that there was a guaranteed legendary. If I wasn't recording, I would actually go ahead and share that with people. And so this also gives me a chance to show you guys the little star that you get on your mini-map when a legendary does drop. So keep your eyes on your mini-map as you play. It'll help you find more kinds of special monsters. And as you find more kinds of special monsters, it will also help you find more legendaries. And even if you're playing and you skip a legendary and you just take a look back at your map, you'll actually see the legendary is even on your main map. So you can actually just go through sections that you've walked through and make sure that you don't miss out on any legendary drops. My third tip is actually going to be based on these challenge rifts. So the challenge rift level that you have completed actually determines the stats that you wind up getting on your gear. The further that you've gotten in challenge rifts, the better that your gear is going to drop. So you want to try to go as far as you reasonably can in challenge rifts to make sure that the loot that you're getting to drop will be more likely to be an upgrade for you. Some levels of challenge rift will have a little yellowish green skull on them, and when you complete those solo, that is actually going to increase the gear that drops for you by an entire difficulty level. So for me, when I complete level 140, my gear will start dropping from vendors at level or at Hell 5. And so you'll see that 140 is going to be one of the milestones. Before 140, the next one is going to be at 95. At level 95, that's where gear starts dropping at Hell 4. And then you just go further and further back for the other levels of Hell as well. So that's something that you definitely want to keep your eyes on. You'll see that level 60 is going to be for Hell 3, and it keeps going from there. Furthermore, you'll see that there are these little chests on 60. There isn't one on 65, but there is one on 70. From what I've read, every 5 levels of challenge rift that you advance, it actually increases the stat product that you get on your gear by a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. So just try and make sure that you're current on your challenge rifts. And so by being current on your challenge rifts, it's just that you have advanced as far as you reasonably can within the next multiple of 5. Now, one thing to be aware of, right, is that when you do go into one that is going to be a little bit too difficult, and so I will boot this one up just to showcase it, you'll see that when the monster level difficulty is a little bit too high for you, you're going to get this little exclamation point that appears on your screen at the bottom. And you can actually tap or click on it. So you'll see here that I've got this high monster difficulty. And so for me, it says I take 205% more damage. I deal 67% less damage. And so if I wanted to try and complete this challenge rift, it would definitely be a lot more difficult for me to do so. It isn't impossible, but it definitely would be a lot harder. And then the other thing that's really nifty is it'll show you over here what your combat rating is, and then also what the suggested combat rating is for that challenge rift. So if you're unsure as to whether or not you're going to be able to complete the rift, of course, you can give it a shot, see how you do. But you can also just go in and check the monster difficulty and see if your character is geared enough for that rift. So by all means, push as far as you can in your challenge rifts. You can actually play with other people to advance the challenge rift number for you, but I think that playing solo tends to be the best for just advancing yourself. And then just keep yourself as relatively topped off as you can so that your gear is better. The better that the stat product is on the gear that you're dropping, the further that you're going to be able to push in challenge rifts, and the easier it's going to be for you to collect gear that will enable you to boost from Hell 1 to Hell 2, and then 2 to 3, and 3 to 4, and so on and so forth. So this is just a really useful trick for gear progression to get to the higher level difficulties of the game. My fourth tip is actually going to be for finding people to play with. So you may notice that as you play in the chat, you'll see that people have posted different dungeons or activities in the chat, and you can click on those and try to add yourself to those groups. And so there's a pretty easy way to access that, and you simply go to Party Finder right here, and then it will pull up all the different activities that people are doing on your server that are looking for more players. Once one of these activities fills, after some time, it's actually going to go ahead and remove the activity from the Party Finder, and then as people place more of them down, then they will appear here for you to try and access. There are a bunch of different categories that you can select to try and find specific things that you want to do, be it world farm in zones, a specific dungeon to try and collect set loot, or some other type of activity. For the filter, you can actually go ahead and select through different difficulties. So if you're trying to find a specific dungeon in a specific difficulty, you can go ahead and select your filters to do that for you. And then beyond that, if you don't see the group that you're trying to do, you can create your own post. And so you can actually select whatever the activity is that you want to do. If you want to change the difficulty, this right here is actually going to let you change your difficulty. So you can swap around the difficulty if you want to do something a little bit harder or a little bit easier. And then you can select auto accept applications. If you do that, then when people hit the little plus to join your group, they'll automatically join. If you do not have this, then you actually wind up getting a little button right here that appears, and people have to apply, and you have to accept them manually. I personally like to automatically add people. I find that it's a little bit easier. Generally, people are going to join you that are the required combat rating to do the activity that you're trying to do. Not always, and if you're open to carrying people, then you can keep them, and if you're not, then a nice word and letting them go, it generally tends to be okay as well. So I found that learning about this was really useful because this game definitely rewards players for having a full party. You're going to get more gems to drop, just the yellow variant, and that's going to definitely improve your character. And then at the end of dungeons and hidden layers, you're going to get those chests that you need 4 people for, and those definitely can drop good stuff. In dungeons, they can drop bonus legendaries, even bonus set items, and even in those hidden layers, you can get some bonus legendaries from them as well. So playing in a party is definitely recommended for this game, and that's a way to make sure that you're able to get those full parties. My fifth and final tip is one that will hopefully help you get better gems. The better that your gems are, the stronger that your character is. So just as important as the legendary and set items are that you find, the gems that are equipped on your character are all very important as well. And that means not just these yellow gems that you have in your set pieces, but it also includes the legendary gems that you're going to have in your legendary pieces. Now, you can inspect your gems, both the yellow gems and the legendary gems from your inventory, and you'll notice that some of the gems that you have are going to have this little scale symbol on the upper left of the gem. What that means is that you can sell that gem in the marketplace. You'll see that this right here, Black Rose, has the little marketplace symbol, so I can actually go ahead and sell that gem. Whereas this Phoenix Ashes does not have that little symbol, therefore I cannot sell it in the market. The only thing I can do with that one is to either put it into my own equipment or use it to upgrade one of my Phoenix Ashes gems. Now, this is especially important because when you go to the market and you start trying to sell your stuff, you're going to want to sell as many of these yellow gems as you can. Always sell them for the maximum amount of platinum, which is 400. I have never had it so that my gems do not sell, and I always put them for 400. You might have to wait a little bit longer if you put them for 400, but you will wind up being able to sell them. And you can actually sell them as stacks, so you can sell as many as you want. I don't personally sell my tourmaline because having the bonus damage is very important, but I do wind up selling all of my other gems, And so even though I don't really put very much money into the game, I'm still able to collect platinum to the point where I'm actually able to go in and buy these 5-star gems with the platinum that I've earned for just selling all of the different things that I get that I can. So always keep an eye out for your gems, and this includes yellow gems, this includes legendary gems. Make sure that you're selling them and boosting up your platinum so that you can start picking up the legendary gems that you want to fit your character's build. It may seem that it's an insurmountable amount of platinum to pick up one of these gems, especially if you're a free-to-play player, but it's definitely doable. I was able to pick up 2 of these before I wound up putting any money into the game, and that was just by selling the gems that I picked up every day. So you're able to get these gems by playing in a party of 4. The first hidden layer that you do every single day is going to drop you 1 from every single one of the challenges in it. So each floor will have 3 challenges for 3 gems, and that will be a total of 6 gems if it's a 2-layer hidden layer. That guaranteed gem drop is only from the first hidden layer you do every day, but nonetheless, playing in a party of 4 and getting these to drop out in dungeons and in the world is going to be a great way for you to boost up your platinum and pick up these big gems. So I hope that these tips were helpful for you. If you did find them helpful, by all means, please go ahead and share this video with your friends. Ideally, I want to help as many people as I can. Also, if you liked this video and you found the information in it helpful, if you would leave a comment letting me know that you did like it, and if you want to see more tips and tricks videos like this one, I have more tips and tricks that I did not include in this video that I can include in another video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.